Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you are listening to this, you remember the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? I'm the Beaveman, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the great Slaptail Nation Army. And with me today, here live in the Beaver Den, with an ass so fine it'll make you want to violate the first commandment, the Padme to my Darth Vader, the evil into my Skeletor, and the Harley Quinn to my completely sane Joker. I give you the fine, heart-shaped ass that is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Swan, how art thou?
I'm thowy. I'm doing all right, I think, maybe.
Nice definitive answer.
Yeah, all right. I'm non-committal.
You're non-committal?
Yeah.
Some might say you're over-committal.
Why? Committable?
Yeah, you are definitely committable.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Should be.
Wow, this was a really thrilling intro. Thank you, Swan.
What do you want me to come up with? It's
Nothing,
not time for
nothing.
my magic minute.
It's Manic Minute.
I want it to be magic.
Biggest ass you've ever seen.
Okay,
True.
Anyway. Moving on. Also with us today, and this just goes to show dedication, folks. When you're dedicated, you will podcast from anywhere. Also with us today, the sitcom himself, Steven Ortiz, live from the intensive care unit, where he's being actively bagged, and there's a catheter in every hole he has. Steven the Sitcom Ortiz.
Indeed.
Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Dedicated. He is dedicated.
Yeah, man.
He's showing up. He's strapped to a bed, so he has nothing better to do, but, you know.
Hey, man, listen. This whole world's full of excuses. I'm not heading to it, man.
Aww.
Not enough time for that.
Now, how many mucous membranes have you had swabbed for cultures since you've been there?
Just one, just a COVID test.
Oh, that's it? They didn't swab your urethra, your mouth, your nose, nothing?
No.
That's not.
Just my nose for the COVID. That's it.
That's it,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
Yeah, I tend not to let things go into orifices if I can help it.
That's called sounding, Swan. Sounding if you do it to your urethra.
Sounding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it to my urethra.
It's plugging if it's your butt. I don't know if they call it sounding.
I don't know. I feel like the butt would probably make more sounds.
Probably.
Only coming out.
True.
Going
That's
in
fair.
as the sounds are coming from the other end. It's coming from your mouth.
That's true. So it's muted, a little quieter. Yeah.
What is it?
Steven,
And it's weird that way, though.
Yeah, Steven is he's a comedian, if you hadn't figured that out. Sitcom comedian. He's a comedian from the boring state of Indiana.
Aw.
Correct. Just slightly more boring than Michigan. Yes.
Michigan is awesome.
Okay, if you were going to pick a state, which one would be awesome then?
Yeah,
if it's not
which
Michigan.
one would you move to? Who are you asking?
Steven.
I'd probably go to Atlanta, Georgia.
Hmm.
Georgia is full of fun.
Is that because you're really white?
No, it's because I'm really white. Is because of where I'm from now.
Oh, okay.
No, Atlanta. I think you're not even allowed to move in there unless you're like at minimum 6 degrees separation from the black card.
Okay. Are you a minimum 6 degrees separation from the black card?
Yes, my wife's Puerto Rican and she's 20% black. So
okay, but
That doesn't.
but you guys aren't related.
Yeah,
though,
I was
right?
gonna say, how does that affect you?
Well-
She can move in, but you can't.
well,
Are you gonna be
by
her token?
marriage.
You're her
By
token
marriage.
white boy?
By
by
marriage.
I took her last name.
I
so
was
that
gonna
counts.
ask you about that. Why do you? Okay, so you took her last name.
I did.
Okay, so you're trying to appropriate my culture, is what you're saying. I
Correct.
should have taken my mom's last name.
You should have.
Well, to be fair, I'm not trying to really appropriate your culture. As
I try
much
and take
as
my women.
Trying to leave mine behind.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's the story that you don't want. You gave up your last name because you hate everyone in your family. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
But partly,
100%.
probably.
Well, my grandfather was the Grand Wizard of the KKK
Jeez.
in
Ooh.
Osceola, Indiana, up until 10, 15 years ago.
I
my
mean, that's
parents
pretty
were,
dope, even though it's shitty. I'm like, my
Yeah.
I mean, you get to put
yeah,
that
he had
on
a cool
your
name, I guess. And then my parents were addicts and abusive. So yeah, pretty much just as soon as I had the chance.
Damn.
Well, and then my ex-wife was abusive, and she kept my last name. So just all the way around, I was like, you know what? It's just time to.
Interesting.
cut the
Intriguing.
cord.
Yeah, I probably should have taken my mom's last name.
Yeah, you probably should have. Then my last
should've.
name would have been different, and that would have
But I
been
like
okay
my
with
last
me.
But the thing is, I like my last name.
Your last name gives so much, though. Like,
There's so many meanings to my last name.
It totally does.
Like, think about it. If I was the Ortizman, that'd be weird.
But the Beaveman, pretty cool. The Beaveman, pretty
The
cool.
Beaveman.
It's amazing how many people say it wrong, though.
The Beaveman.
The Beaveman.
The
I'm like,
Beaveman.
what?
Well, I know it's not Beaveman, but Ortizman just didn't sound quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Ortiz.
So where did Beaveman come from? I mean, obviously your last name, but I mean, like.
Yes, there's been so many iterations of my nicknames over the years, all based on my last name, obviously. So when I was really little, of course, people called me Beaver or Beavers. And then when I was in high school, people called me Beav. Only the people that like me, so there's only like 4. And then when I joined the Army, of course, you know, everybody calls you by your last name, but then most people called me Beav. And then when I was a nurse, my porn name was Nurse Beavers. So that was it.
Oh, okay.
Until I got married, and then she also being a nurse, I couldn't be Nurse Beavers anymore, so that was unfortunate. But Beaveman, of course, is my superhero / cryptid / alien name / podcaster name, and I just, because I already had a podcast that had been going for 6 years, and because it's an incognito sort of thing for me, which I don't care anymore. I initially cared because I'm a nurse practitioner. I didn't want my patients to do a search on my name, and then all this comedy stuff would pop up.
It's cost me a job. I get it.
Yeah. So that is why I go by the Beaveman. But now, of course, I don't care. I'm like, I don't care if they know.
And your work does know, so it's fine.
My work does know, actually, now. So I actually had that with my contract. I actually had that written into my contract that said, you know, I have this pre-existing business that I run that's entertainment, you know, so don't even try to come after me for anything. You know, and try to fire me, basically.
Smart. Good move.
Yeah. They actually didn't care. They're like, I made them listen to the podcast. I'm like, you have to listen to it. And they're like, it sounds like just a bunch of friends having fun. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. But, you know. So that is the long story. But yes, it is my superhero name. For I am Beaveman, Master of Wood.
That doesn't sound very good.
Yeah,
well, if you think about it, if you think about it, he has the ability to manipulate all wood.
Like
with his mouth.
Like a beaver.
No, not like a beaver. Like, oh my God, do you know who Magneto is, Swan?
I know the name.
Oh my God. Steven, do you know who Magneto is?
Oh, of course I know Magneto.
Okay, so imagine the Beaveman is the same thing, but can manipulate wood. Can shapeshift it, manipulate whatever he wants to do with it. So like you come to attack me, all of a sudden I'm like, all right, and then you just get squashed by a bunch of trees.
Oh, okay.
So
I pictured more like a Wolverine character, but with 2 metal teeth. There's, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I definitely am like Wolverine because I can't be killed, but Master of Wood. So which means
that's fair.
So which means I would be powerless inside an IKEA.
Probably.
That's true.
That is true.
Because it's not real wood, just glue.
Yeah.
That's my kryptonite, IKEA.
That's most people's kryptonite, I feel like.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, other than the fact that you are culturally appropriating your last name? I think it's best also that you do not tell us your previous last name, because we don't want any ties to white supremacy to you at all.
Yeah, no, yeah, I try to keep that under wraps as much as I can. But yeah, so I'm from Indiana, like we mentioned. I was actually born in Indiana, raised in Southern Alabama, and then came back up when I was 17. And then upon moving back up here, I met my first wife, had a kid, got divorced, met a new woman, had more kids. And then I picked up comedy in 2017 and did my first open mic right before my divorce. And I fell in love with it right away, just, you know, being able to get up and make people laugh. And that kind of became more or less my career, especially after losing the crutches and ending up in the wheelchair full time. So,
so you were previously able to get around without the chair.
Yeah. So yeah, when I was born, my back was broken at birth. They didn't discover it till I was a year old.
Damn.
Upon discovering that, they made a really shitty deal with my parents saying, hey, we'll do the surgeries to fix him. But in return, we want to do some exploratory surgeries because I should have been paralyzed from the neck down. And pre-surgery, it was just my legs that were affected. And then after a couple years of surgeries and living in the hospital at 4, I got out and I was on a walker at first. And then they were like, oh, he hops around. He's going to get hurt. Put him on crutches so he slows down. And they put me on crutches, and I was on crutches up until I was 29 or 30.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah, man. So that kind of culminated into me taking on comedy full time. So my legs started giving out on me, to the point where I used to be able to put my wheelchair in the car by myself, with one arm, walk around, get in the car, all that fun stuff, be able to go to work and all that. When I lost the legs and got in the wheelchair, that resulted in my body going through changes, like, sitting all day, getting sores, just the different things that you kind of don't think about when you're not in a wheelchair full time. So all of that kind of built up, almost killed me, between getting sick and, the adjustment, just all of that, the mental side of things. And my doctor's like, cool, go on disability. And then that's where my amazing wife was like, hey, you have a dream. You can't work a regular job anymore. I'll work. You take care of the home and you chase comedy. You go do that. So a little over a year ago, I went full time and the rest is history. Here we go.
God damn, that was depressing.
Aww.
I know, man. I'm sorry.
I need a minute.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a comedy podcast. Son of a bitch. All right. It's fine.
Let's see here. Something funny. The doctor that broke my back, I found out his son was paralyzed from the neck down.
Ouch. That sucks.
Ooh, did he birth
And
his
he was an
own
athlete.
kid?
Ooh.
It was his only son. He was an athlete and he got his neck broken in a football game. And yeah.
Goddamn. Awesome.
I know it, right?
That's supposed to be comedy. That's not comedy. That wasn't funny. That sucks too, but I mean, it's irony for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it would only be cool if the doctor broke it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was funny either. I mean, when I met the guy, I was 26 or 27 at the end of my marriage. So it took nothing just to kind of piss me off and send me over the edge. So, but when I found that out, I was like, oh, okay. I know he suffered enough. I've been through it. We're good. We'll call it even.
I still punched him in the dick. Punch him right there.
I thought about it, man. It took everything I had not to. It really did. I mean, look at me in the eyes and he goes, oh, wow, you turned out okay.
Like, yeah, you owe me a few $1 million. Fuck you.
Oh, man. Took everything I had. I did break his phone. Though.
Oh, nice.
He brought it in to get repaired and I microwaved it. Said I couldn't fix it.
Nice.
Strong.
I got a little bit of
that's a
revenge.
little something.
So
It's not a lot. It's a little something.
Yeah.
It's a little something. So because of that, you're kind of touring everywhere. Where are you touring? You're going to New York soon.
Yeah, I go everywhere I can, man. So yeah, January 24th, Levittown, New York, which is in Long Island.
Long Island.
I'll be Long Island.
Long Island.
Use guys. Yeah. I'll be there with the guys from my podcast. Well, 2 of the 3. So yeah, we're putting on the Fresh Brewed Comedy Show. It's going to be a good time. Govs is an awesome club. If you've never been or haven't heard of it, go check it out. Their venues are beautiful. We're going to be in one of their a little smaller rooms that seats about 90.
Oh, nice.
So still tickets available. I think we're at like 15 tickets sold so far. So tickets are going. They have some dinner specials. I mean, it's all the makings of a really good date night.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
it's going to be a good time.
They'll have to send us the link and we will post it. We have listeners.
Yeah, for sure.
We have listeners in New York and New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Oh, that would be fantastic, man. Yeah, I joined a bunch of Facebook groups and, this is not my first like real far out of town gig, but the first one that's at like an actual comedy club, Because I mean, I'm sure. Well, as I'm sure being a comedian, most shows are in.
No,
bars,
he's. You just did a show at a comedy club.
No, ours is not a
Theater.
comedy
It's a
club.
theater.
It's a theater. So
No. I count yours a comedy club. I don't count your. I know you said call it a theater, but yours doesn't fall into that category because yours is very much specifically for comedy and entertainment.
Right.
It's not like I'm going into a sports bar or a dive bar or like when I went to Missouri, for example. I flew to Missouri, did for a show, was really excited. I show up and it's like a 30-person dive bar that they still allow smoking in.
Wow.
And it was rough. It was bad. It was so bad.
But did you get paid?
Oh man. I did get paid.
Okay.
I did get paid. Yeah.
Well, that's
go. What matters. I got paid and I still put on a good show. So
that's all that matters.
But trying to breathe through that wall of smoke was not fun.
That is not fun.
No,
Now, our good buddy Joe Goon, he runs a show in a smoke lounge, which is actually really fun, but it's very tough to do if you're not, if you don't smoke pot, which I do not.
Yeah, I've done that. I did one earlier this summer. It was actually my first of 4 or 5 that I did in Indianapolis. I went to the show and I wasn't told it was a smoking show. I was told there would be some products available, like edible stuff and all that, but I get there about an hour early, as I normally do for shows, and I go in, and he starts passing out ashtrays. And I'm like, oh. I was like, well, I use a marijuana vape. So I was like, can I vape in here? He goes, oh, sure, no problem. Didn't think anything about it. I go outside, I'm hanging out. I come back in about 5 minutes before the show starts, and it's just a wall of just solid pot smoke. And the thing is I smoke. What I didn't expect was hotboxing a whole building. So by the time I got on stage, it took me about 10 seconds to get out of the fog and remember what I was doing. Because I went up there and I was just like I had to, breathe a little bit because I had such a bad secondhand high. Like when I left, I had to stop at the gas station and buy like air freshener and a bottle of Axe just to spray myself because my car smelled like I'd hotboxed my car. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But one of the funnest shows I did by far.
Yeah, I was smart. The first time I did it, I kept going out of the room and going outside. And then eventually because I've done a couple of shows. One show I didn't do it all. I just went because I let my friend use my equipment. And I wore a military gas mask like the whole show. I just put it on.
Smart.
I was like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other 3 shows I did there, I basically waited outside until about 5 minutes before I had to go up, basically.
Yeah, that's the wise thing to do because it's also a tough crowd. Not tough crowd because they're rude or because they're obnoxious.
No.
They're all there to have fun and smoke dope and watch comedy, but they don't get your jokes right away. So like 3 jokes later, they kind of smile at you and point and go, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Well, see, I had that exact response, but my issue was this wasn't a comedy show.
Oh.
I was told it was a comedy show. It ended up being a variety show, which essentially was 12 gangster rappers with me and one other white comic in the middle. So
yeah, that goes well, I'm sure.
Yeah, so and honestly, no, so the first guy that went up, fucking horrible. Like all he did was try to pander to the fact that we were the only white people in the building, and it was rough. It was so bad. He just made himself look so dumb. And then so I had to go up there and I had to pick up the pieces, and I did, and I killed it. Don't know how, but I killed it. And after the show, like he came up to me and he was like, "Man, I don't know what I did wrong." And I was like, "Well, you could have pretended like you weren't just trying to talk to black people, Because because he went we talked before the show. Then he was like, "Oh, hey man, how you doing? It's nice to meet you." He went upstairs and said, "Yo, what up, y'all? How y'all doing?" And I'm just like, that's not the guy I just talked to. But okay. It was rough, man. It was cringy.
I noticed Steven did our open mic, which was nice of you because you drove like an hour and a half, 2 hours just to do an open mic, which obviously we're going to get you on a different show. We'll have to talk to you about the specific later on in the show. We should talk about the show that we want to put together as one.
Okay, that sounds
good.
And then, so anyway, you came up for that, which was very nice of you. I noticed though, your comedy is not what I would consider dark, but you're saying jokes that are funny, but making fun of light of your situation. And some people were like scared to laugh, which I was like, and I was dying laughing.
I was laughing.
I'm dying laughing, and people are probably looking at me going, "God, why is he laughing at the guy in the wheelchair?" Because it's fucking funny. If he can laugh at himself, you assholes, fucking laugh.
Yeah, so occasionally that does pose an issue. However, generally speaking, the main reason I show up early, I like to get a feel for the crowd and a feel for the atmosphere. Because if it feels like an atmosphere where people may be a little apprehensive, now open mics, not as much, mostly because I'm playing around, I'm having fun, you know. But if I'm booked and I'm advertised, which I was obviously advertised there, but like if I'm putting on a 15-minute show, okay, and I gotta get their attention, but I want to make sure they can appreciate it and will laugh and not feel bad. Is I usually do this opening bit where I ask everyone to join me in a big communal "oh fuck," and then I explain to them, I tell them, "Hey, I'm in the wheelchair. This is what happened," and then all together we all go, "oh fuck." And then that just kind of breaks the glass, and and then it just kind of goes. And then I have some other ways too. I've had some jokes where I'll be like, people wonder why I'm in the wheelchair. It's for the parking. And then I'll ask somebody in the front row, do you want to see where it's at? And they'll be like, no, I'm good. Be like, it's close. Just ways to break the glass. Because, I mean, yeah, you're taught not to stare, not to laugh. And I just say, fuck that. If it's funny, laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, I have a slightly warped sense of humor, so I find all that
As
stuff
do
funny. I think I've had a warped sense of humor since I was a child, though. Maybe it was that initial head injury I had when I was really small. But then, of course, I was an infantryman in the Army, and they all have very sick senses of humor. And then I went right from that to working in the emergency room as what they call a patient care associate. So basically, the assistant to the nurses. And then I became a trauma nurse. And everybody has a sick sense of humor in the ER also because you see such terrible things. And that just never went away. I've always been like that. And, so I tell jokes that most of the time people don't laugh at my jokes. It's usually like 1 out of 20 people and they're dying laughing, and the rest are either looking at me in horror, or they're looking at me in horror, and then there's a good percentage of them they're like, I really want to laugh, but if I laugh, will people think that I'm odd? And I have no desire to change. I'm going to stay the same, which means I'll probably stop hosting comedy. I'll probably actually even stop doing open mics. I'll probably only let it be known out there that, hey, if you want somebody that does gallows type humor, feel free to reach out, because otherwise I'm going to be doing stuff all the time that's where people aren't going to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. And for the record, your like what I heard at the open mic and then some of the videos I've seen, your humor is so fucking. I love your jokes. They're like Anthony Jeselnik's another one I love so much. And I tried emulating that at first, but while I have dark jokes and my humor is definitely warped and dark overall, I don't know why it just doesn't fit like my onstage persona, I guess, to go that dark. Now I have gone dark. Like I have a couple jokes that I've whipped out. One is like God's my favorite inspiration for comedy. I mean, everything in my life has been a constant joke. For example, my uncle molested me, but he couldn't let me run away. Classic comedy, I got jokes like that, and some that aren't even. I have a lot of jokes that aren't even wheelchair based, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it works, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point in my quote hobby, because it's not a career for me, in this point, I'm really trying to make the comedians that go see it like at the open mic, I'm trying to make them laugh, because I know that most of them enjoy that type of comedy, like because they all like all kinds of comedy. So they're the ones who usually do laugh, and then occasionally it's some weird audience member who's dying. But most of the time, it's just they're looking at me like I'm insane, which is good because that's what I want them to do. I do want them to look at me like I'm insane.
That's your goal. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, obviously. But I sent you a joke recently, didn't I? Did I send you one of my jokes? I did. I sent you I sent you that joke. And yeah, there was a lady sitting in the front. And this was just an open mic. She was staring at me the entire time, and the look on her face was basically like, it looked like she smelled something bad or ate an entire lemon, because that's how bad. She was just the entire time looking at me like that. I was like, mission accomplished, lady.
Exactly what I was going for. Awkward silence, and you could read her expression on her face like badly.
Well, then Swan was trying to say that's probably just her face. I was like, oh no.
I mean, I saw her relaxed face, and it was almost as bad, honestly. Her face is not a nice face to begin with. It was like,
Yeah, those are the worst. When I was in Grand Rap, I spent 8 days in Michigan in September, going like Grand Rapids, Muskegon, all over there, and doing mics and stuff. And my buddy and I went to this mic, and he has this joke about like it's a really good thing men don't pick women the same way dog breeders pick dogs with a finger in the ass, right? Like first best in show, you know?
Yeah.
And thought it was hilarious. Everyone laughed. And after the show, of all people, somebody that he books on a regular basis came up to him outside and said, "I don't think that joke was appropriate, man. You made my girlfriend really uncomfortable." And we were both just like, that joke. Like the guy before did 15 minutes of rape jokes, and this one joke is what hurt your feelings. And he's like, yeah. I'm just like, what a fucking pansy. Like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Like, what? I'm not gonna get on a soapbox, but if you're gonna go somewhere that's having comedy, fucking leave your sensitivities at home.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
You know, if you hear something that offends you, cool. Don't watch that person or get up and leave. Don't cause a scene and don't shit on somebody. You know, I mean, unless they come out and are just absolutely being like a racist or sexist or, you know, something absolutely off the wall ridiculous, leave them alone. You know?
Yeah, I
Like,
totally agree. And that there should be rules. Like it's for open mics. You definitely should have a complete open mind for open mics because
100%. I mean,
you don't know who these people are.
Work or not.
Well, and
exactly.
I was gonna say, and they're trying out their stuff, so they're trying it for you to see if it's funny. And if you don't think it's funny, they may not use it again, or they'll fix it to make it funny. And you don't have to get butthurt by someone expressing their feelings or their writings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be a specific audience member for open mics. Open mics, you have to go knowing that you don't know any of these people, and even if you do, you're going to hear unpolished material or material they're trying to work it out. So you can't be offended by anything they say. You're not, and they're free. I mean, open mics are fucking free. You went for free comedy.
Yeah, like you said, if you don't like it, get up and leave.
Yeah, I've had a couple open mic experiences. One where even the people running the club even got involved. It was like, you need to leave them alone, you know, because I had this joke and I ran it past. It was a kind of racist joke, but not like crazy bad. I even shared it I shared it with Red, the Blackout artist. I shared it with with Cam Cooper, and I was like, hey, is this? If I didn't know you, would you punch me if I said this? They were like, no, I think that's hilarious. And the joke was like a property value joke, you know, or whatever. And I said the joke, and this dude, like mid word, jumped up. He goes, "Yo, man, you can't say that," and like started getting angry. And so like the security guy came from the front door, and the other guy came. They had to take him out, and I'm like, for the record, this was Black people approved by 3 different people before I came here. And everyone was like, "Say it again," and I was like, no. But but it was just one of those things where it's just like, especially it's like, I don't know, like most professions, people don't get to watch people get good at their profession, you know, and you get an open invite into this one and you're going to come in and be a dick about it. No, thank you.
Yeah. It's like people forget that people who are established comedians, whether they're famous or semi-famous or journey or local, they have to work their stuff out somewhere, and everybody starts at the same place. So even if you're famous now, you did open mics at some point, unless you just lucked into something, but you had to go somewhere and work your stuff out. So that's what I tell people at our open mics. Yeah. And I'm like, you never know. You might see somebody who's going to become big someday. You never know.
Well, and what's crazy is some people, and a lot of especially like, I guess your run-of-the-mill comedy fans don't even realize that the big names that they like are still doing open mics. And if they're not doing open mics, they're regulars at the clubs they go to, and they treat it like an open mic.
Yeah, like
because they're still working on material.
You know, they go to the store.
Yeah, the comedy store, the cellar, Laugh Factory, Govs. They all have their regulars, and a lot of them use them as an open mic. So it's just one of those things where it's like, you're if you want to be part of the process, don't be a piece of shit while you're part of the process. Stay away.
And I think the same thing goes for regular shows. So my advice to people is, unless you're a true lover of comedy and you want to go to a comedy show, know who's on the show. because you might
Yeah.
not like their comedy. At least know something about them. You know, if
Mhm.
you, that's kind of why, like I said, why I'm like, I'm going to stop hosting, because not everybody who comes is going to be interested in my form of comedy as the host, but I'm not going to change it either. So I'm like, no, I'm just going
Right.
to keep doing what I do. Because there was a point when I first started off, I was kind of friendly, you know, I was kind of happy and goofy, and I had goofy comedy, but I was like, it's not making me happy. I got to be what I am, which is,
Mhm.
you know, it's super dark. So I just made that switch, and so happier, much happier now.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, and I think that's where like my version of comedy comes from. Is I've always thrived in the uncomfortable. It just always been like I'm the guy that would like show up to a job interview and they'd be like, "Come in and have a seat." I'm like, "But I'm already sitting," and they're like, oh, okay, I see what you do." You know, it's just one of those things. Like the more like if I have to crawl out of a hole, let's do it. Like even when I was in sales, that was my method. Is like I would fuck with my customers as they're coming in. They'd be like, "Yeah, like," I'd be like, "What'd you call me?" And just like uncomfortable 10 seconds of just solid eye contact. I'd be like, "No, I'm just kidding with you. I heard you."
Yeah.
And you know, knock it out. You know, it's just I don't know. Something about it gets me giddy.
Yeah. Giddy is a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem though for me is that no one can get a good picture of me doing comedy.
Me either.
It's because his is so dark. Most people's good comedy photos are they're up there smiling and laughing, and his is not. He's not smiling and laughing during it, or even like even if they're not laughing, they're smiling as they're telling their jokes because they're happy, funny jokes, or they're looking at the crowd and smiling because the crowd is laughing. His is staring at them with like awkward silence, or he's serious. So it's you're either open mouthed and serious, or
yeah. Well, I've seen some of your pictures. If anything, they give kind of Jeselnik vibes.
Thank you.
Or like what's his name? Lewis Black.
Also like Lewis Black.
You very rarely ever see them smiling on stage, but you know.
Well, one of these times I'm going to remember and just pose. Like if I see somebody with a camera, I'm going to stop, smile, and pose.
Well, dude, maybe that should be part of your bit. Yeah. Who wants to take my picture?
In the middle of a super dark bit and just drop like a, you know, and then, you know, shot himself in the head. You know? Like, like I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, shoot the dog.
Or use that, you know, if you're staring so long, why don't you take a picture of it? It lasts longer, or, you know, like that whole joke. Like tell them to take a picture. Like
stop trying to write comedy. Swan.
I'm not trying to write comedy. I'm just trying to like.
For you.
There was when I was there was one point when I was trying to work on being comfortable in silence, you know, whether it's for laugh breaks or whatever. And so I wrote a whole like 10-minute bit set about I'm working on some things, and about 45 seconds of it's just eye contact and silence.
I would have laughed.
Like I was like, yeah, my mentor said I had to work on eye contact, so here we go.
Yeah, I totally would have laughed.
Oh, dude, it fucking kills every time. And it was just, it really helped though, man, because the first couple times I did that 45 seconds felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I love pausing. I pause a lot. I just let it sink in.
Yeah, sometimes that's always been the silence always killed me though. Like, because growing up I had a lot of brothers and sisters, you know, and everything was always loud. So when it's quiet, I get uncomfortable when it's quiet. So yeah. Ugh.
So you're saying there's something wrong with me? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it's me.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can't be left alone with my own cognizance in my head.
Yeah, I don't like silence either. We have that discussion because he tells me to shut up on a routine basis. Because
I don't tell you to shut up. That's not cool.
Well, I mean, you're like, God, can I just have a moment of silence? Like, geez, can you like stop talking for like 5 seconds? Because I mean,
my wife says that, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why? Because you need to like, I don't know, like have a thought break or like whatever from me. I don't know.
Speaking of which, do you want to do your segment now, Swan?
Oh, sure. Okay.
No, we don't give you the. No,
I'm going to look at my list and see what I want to like rant about.
That's not great if you got a list.
I do have a list.
You're supposed to be able to do this off the cuff.
It is off the cuff.
If it's not off the cuff, it seems like it's rehearsed. If you're looking
at it. Not rehearsed at all, but I have a list of topics. That's all.
Well, that's it. Also not cool.
Okay. Well, what do you want? Like,
oh, it's fine.
Okay.
You let me know when you're ready so I can get my phone here.
I can be ready whenever you want.
All right, Steven. This is a segment of the show that is new. So
Okay.
you've not heard it before, I don't think.
I have not.
Okay, so this is what we call, now it's time in the show where the Swan does Swan's Manic Minute.
Whoa.
It's one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response will you even consider the Everyone in this room is now done for having lived. There was no point, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, so I only get a minute, but I'm going to try to make it last, but it might be a two-parter because what pisses me off today is when someone makes themselves too comfortable in someone else's home. Like literally, you're fucking at my house. I invited you here. You could be a family, a friend, a fucking anybody just come into your house and they bring their shit in. They put it down all over your fucking house. Okay, yeah, this one was my family member, but okay, but still, they're at our house. They are acting like they fucking live here. I gave you a place to put all your stuff. You have a room, and I don't want to see your fucking Vicks Vapor Rub on my kitchen fucking counter, your fucking glasses on the table, your Dora the Explorer fucking pillowcase on the couch. Like, why is your shit fucking everywhere? Just put your shit back in your fucking designated room. Hell, if you're only here for a weekend, leave it in your goddamn suitcase. Why do I need your toothbrush? And they brought their own fucking towels. Okay, you have towels in your bathroom. Use the fucking towels. Why are you spreading your shit all over my goddamn house?
Oh my God, that was...
Wow, that was some bent up anger right there. My goodness.
That was definitely the Swan's Manic Minute. Oh my God.
Well, it's got a part two because I didn't get to my second part about it. So stay tuned.
Man, so Thanksgiving was good?
No, we didn't have Thanksgiving at our house. That was just a random.
Oh.
I mean, if they listen to it and they know all about their Dora Explorer pillowcase as a fucking 50-something-year-old adult, that's a problem.
Well, I'm 51 and I have a Batman pillowcase.
No. That's different. Don't do that, Beaveman. Don't do that.
That's different?
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yep, DC and Marvel, those are not the same as Nickelodeon.
Dora
Jr.
the Explorer? Yeah.
I actually prefer my Star Wars one, but you know.
You have a Star Wars pillowcase?
I do. I have two.
Oh, I know. Yes, you do. Yeah.
I have a Star Trek pillow myself, so.
Lame.
Okay, well, you and your space wizards can go. Never mind. We're not even going to get into
Sorcerers.
that right now.
Sorcerers. Yeah, Star Trek doesn't have like powers like the Force.
Yeah.
No, they don't have space wizards and talking dogs and weird little green midgets.
Yeah, and in Star Trek they wear underwear, which is not cool. And in Star Wars, in space, there is no underwear.
Well, Star Trek doesn't have space chlamydia, so.
I'm pretty sure Captain Kirk has every disease under the sun, and some
Captain
they've
Kirk is
never,
patient
ever,
zero,
ever
for sure.
deserved.
No, that's probably true.
That is
Yeah,
also
I
true.
can't. That's true. He probably does have space chlamydia. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
After all the women that you've ever dated, I'm assuming you must have some game. Do they all, after you've broken up with them or after you've divorced them or after you've amicably broke up or after they've dumped you, did they also date someone who was disabled?
No.
Oh, so you were the end all be all. They're never going to get that again.
Well, in a weird way, I guess with my disability, I got lucky. It helps that up until like the last few years, I was 100% independent, didn't need help with anything. 2, even though I'm still in the chair, everything works. So there's no
the most
like
important
machinery.
parts.
Well, yeah, like, there's no swings, there's no, assistance equipment, like it's, I'm very much not Joe Swanson, if that makes sense. Like everything works. So, and a lot of the times, most people that I've dated, even my friends, really, everyone tends to forget that I'm in the wheelchair until the time comes where it's like, oh, fuck, you're in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's very rarely was I ever perceived as like truly paralyzed or like a crippy boy.
I was just wondering if some of them ended up with like fetishes after. They're like,
no, that's the thing. No. No.
That would have been cool.
But to be fair, I wouldn't.
That
date a
would have been
disabled person
cool.
that would have been cool. You see your all
Yeah,
of
I
your
would have
exes
loved to make
later.
that kind of impression, but
See all
yeah,
your
no.
exes later, and they're like dating people who are exclusively disabled.
No, the closest I got to that is my ex-wife. Almost everyone she's dated has been named Steve.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
That's
that is
weird
pretty
to
weird.
me.
Does she have a Steve tattoo? Is that why? So she's like out actively
No.
searching for
No,
I Heart Steve.
no. If she would have done that, I would have known ahead of time to fucking run.
Right.
Well, scoot, escape,
Roll
Yeah.
roll out.
roll out. Yeah, it would have been. I would have known ahead of time for sure. Then, yeah.
How long have you and your wife currently been together? Not saying you're going to have a different one. I'm just saying currently, your current wife.
I struggle with that too. No, we've been together for 4 years, married for 2.
Oh, nice. And you have children with this one too?
Yes. Yep.
And how many do you have with this one?
2.
Damn, you're busy.
He said it
4
works.
years?
He said it
It
works.
works,
And it
man.
was during COVID. So geez, you got nothing better to do, right?
Nothing to do, man.
I worked.
So did I.
All right then.
Okay.
Well, I did too. To be
So,
fair.
there you go.
But then other
That
than
was-
working, all you had to do is make babies.
We didn't.
Well, yeah, that was that was like my last 2 years of working was that. So yeah, it was, being stuck at home from COVID and everything. Yeah, we would just fuck like rabbits. I mean, what else was there to do?
We didn't.
Fuck like
No,
rabbits
you
or
lost
make
your
a baby.
podcast.
Yeah. No, we had our
We
podcast,
had podcast
before
first.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ours started in 2018. Before all that.
nice.
Well, we couldn't make a baby if we wanted to.
No, I'm just saying
Even
we
if
also
we had
didn't. We didn't
sex.
fuck like rabbits.
Yeah. So
Oh,
That was your fault, not mine.
yeah, your fault.
That was totally your fault.
Okay.
FYI.
that's fair.
FYI, that was your fault.
That's fine. I'll take the blame. That's fine.
Now, let me ask you this question. Actually, Swan, why don't you ask the questions?
What question do I want to? No, I don't have a question.
Well, aren't you supposed to read my mind? That's what you say all the
I
time.
can
You know
read
what
your
I'm going to
mind.
say.
No,
Go ahead.
because
What was I
if-
going to say?
I don't know. I don't know. You're blocking it with the hat. I can't do it.
Why don't you talk about what you wrote your grant for and see if you want to loop
Oh,
Steven in?
so I wrote I wrote a grant for Slaptail Nation to produce some comedy shows, and we got a partial amount of cash. And one of our shows is going to be obviously a comedy show featuring all comedians with disabilities or real abilities or of some type of ability. So, would you like to be part of
Cool.
it? Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Definitely.
to be date to be determined in next year, and I can't remember what disabilities month is, but we were thinking that month.
I feel like it's June or July.
I think it's like I was thinking like
Maybe it's September. I don't know. It's one of those.
I don't know. I can.
I'll be honest, I
Google
don't know
it.
either.
But you also don't have to do it that month.
No, we don't have to do it that month. But I was just yeah. So anyway,
I don't know when that is.
Wow, Swan.
Yeah,
That was
no, that'd be
an amazing
that'd be
pitch,
great.
Swan. An amazing pitch.
was it? It was great.
hey, you know what? You had me that on I was planning. So
Yeah, planning.
works.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess my question is, because I thought maybe Swan would have some sort of cognitive ability.
I don't. I'm spent today. I don't even know what I did to make it that happen. It's probably the head injury.
I know what you didn't do.
What didn't I do?
Anyway,
Hi-yo.
I know what you didn't do.
What?
Me.
Oh, hi-yo.
Hiyo.
Oh,
Hiyo.
I think it's July.
time.
P.S. According to what I just Googled.
I
But,
see.
yeah.
My question is then, how can I ask this in a non-dick way?
Just ask it. It's
that's fine.
sticky.
Just asking a dick
I
way.
feel like I have a couple of different questions.
Mm-hmm.
One of my questions is, what would you be offended if you say there's a bunch of people planning a comedy show and they're like, we need a disabled guy, and they reached out to you for that purpose? Would you be offended by that, or would you feel like that's a good opportunity?
No, I think it's an opportunity. I mean, it's part of the reason I take what I do so serious is people like me don't get the opportunities that everyone else gets. I mean, period, realistically. So yeah, and even if I wasn't, I'd rather live for the why did I do that? It's not the what if I did that. So Yeah, I'd rather regret it later and take the chance now. So,
Okay. Second part of the question is, what if they asked you, and this is just a ridiculous question.
Oh no.
What if they said to you, Steven, we really want you to do this comedy show, but can you act like you also have some sort of a head injury? What if they asked you how would you feel something like that? They're like, Steven, you're a little bit articulate. Could you act, what's the word? They're like,
slow.
What if they said, could you act like, could you do that? What would you say to them?
Oh yeah.
For the right amount of money.
depending on the situation. I mean, I do it to my wife all the time just for shits and gigs. She'll be pushing me through the store and I'll just be like, it's doable. Yeah, it just depends on the situation.
I feel like
if you're asking me to do it in front of a bunch of people who actually have a mental disability, I could maybe slow down my speech, but I will not go full retard.
That is good. So you have some integrity. There is some integrity.
Here's the thing. I have integrity, but I also believe in artistic license. So
so you're like, I will gladly lie that there's something wrong with my brain.
Well, look, if Robert Downey Jr. can do blackface one time and not pay penalties for it, I can play slow one time because I'm way closer to slow than he is black. So
it's true.
There you go. So how does your wife handle that in the middle of the store when you do it? Does she be like, stop it? Or she slaps you and then it's even worse because she's slapping the guy in the wheelchair? Or now she just goes with it?
It depends on her mood. I've been slapped. I've had things thrown at me. I've been told, okay, let's go get your crayons and diapers. So nice. it just depends on her mood, really.
I could just see her slap him and then she's going to jail for freaking
That's what I mean.
disabled abuse.
Exactly.
Well, there was one time, totally my fault. I did it for I was 10 minutes. I was drooling. So we walked out of Walmart and she just let go of me, but I didn't realize she let go of me. I ran right into a sign. It was great. Totally my fault. I deserved it, but she's man, my wife is awesome. She's got my sense of humor. Like me, little to no filter. I mean, very rarely is there ever an issue.
This is what kind of a dick I am, Swan.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a picture of Steven with his wife and I was like, oh, she's cute. How'd that happen?
Aw.
Right? Everybody says that. I know.
Because most women go for the personality of the guy. I mean, you can't look like a freaking troll, but most people would pick sociably acceptable looking and a nice or funny or good personality, nice person versus hot and a douchebag or a dumbass.
Now, to be fair, I was better looking when I met her. I will throw that out there.
You're like, I got
Only
ugly.
been 4 years.
How'd you get ugly in 4 years?
Well, I was going to say fat, not ugly.
Oh, way to go, Swan. Nice one, Swan.
No, I mean, like I said, how it happened, I don't know. Well, I know how it happened. Why it happened, I don't know.
Her good home cooking? Yeah.
No, she's not even the best cook.
Oh, harsh.
She can't be brown then. That's not possible.
No, she knows. No, she can cook, and she can cook well. She just it's rare because I do most of the cooking. She works.
Right. You said she works a lot. Yeah, she has to work a lot.
Yeah, she does. So I do the majority of the cooking. When she cooks, it's normally a special occasion and it's good. But when she did the majority of the cooking when I was working, obviously because kids are a handful and all that. I mean, it was mostly spaghetti, hamburger helper, nothing crazy. But look at me, I didn't starve. So
I believe what you should have said, Swan, was, what? You looked even better than you look now?
Oh, yeah, that.
But instead, Swan was like, oh, how did you get ugly in 4 years?
Hey, it's fine. I'm sure I can talk to
go,
her to
Swan.
come in here and put some air in my IV line. That's fine. Call it a day.
Call it a day.
So, Swan, what you're saying is you were attracted to my personality. Is that what you said? Is that what you're saying?
God, this is gonna go dark.
That's a trap question.
This is gonna go bad.
You just said that most people are attracted to the person's personality.
I mean, no, I did. Well, okay, so I met you pre-head injury. So that personality, it was a lot similar, but a lot.
Like I'm the same.
You are kind of the same, but you're way less filtered. So the pre-head injury, you definitely knew how to hide the whatever you got here now a lot better. It was hidden, and it was like professional Beaveman, because we met in nursing school. So you didn't get like the full picture until we started like hanging out more. But I also appreciated that you're smart and you are attractive. So you had like more than just one thing. And then post head injury, whoa, it was already too late by then. I'm already like in it. Like, stop.
Well, I sent John a picture. I was about 40 pounds lighter when I met my wife, and I was on the crutches, standing. So, I was a pretty good package for a guy on crutches.
Right. Well, I bet you
You're like a farm boy.
40 pounds came from not being on the crutches. A lot of it, because you lost
most of it came from
of
that.
your
Yeah, it's
mobility.
I'm in the process of I'm getting ready to start the weight loss clinic because I want to lose the weight, because I was never like huge. Like the picture I sent John, like that's as big as I was for the most part. Like, and yeah, being stuck in the chair that went from basically, because I didn't even take steps. I hopped around.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even just take steps. So I was burning a lot of calories. I was, working out a lot, and then getting in the wheelchair. Like even when I go, I take my wheelchair for a mile ride every day. But I mean, it's still just this, it's just pumping the arms. It's not lifting myself up. So
would you say you hopped around, or would you change it to jump?
No, it was a hop for sure.
Too bad.
Why do you want it to be jump?
Because he could
jump around. Jump around.
You could jump up.
Jump up and get down.
Get down.
I mean, you could change it to hop. No,
I'm not that old, so I don't really know that one.
That's cool. Not a problem. I don't mind. I don't mind being my age. I don't mind. I don't mind. Most people don't.
No, I mean, you look good for years old.
I'm not ashamed of it. I'm 51. I'm not ashamed of it.
Oh, see, I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed maybe 45. Yeah.
See, yeah. There you go. See?
And then Swan easily 22.
Exactly. He's just trying to be.
Now, see, that's how you not hurt somebody's feelings.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, he's just trying to not make me feel like shit about my crow's feet and wrinkles.
So it only took you 3 years to get uglier. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Nice.
4.
So what you're saying is, Steven, is you roped her in and you immediately got ugly. Is that what? That's what Swan was saying.
Yeah, basically, yeah, more or less.
Oh,
yeah,
nice,
pretty much.
Nice.
And then he had kids with her, so she's stuck.
He's probably like our friend Nemo. He probably has just a giant hog or some shit.
It could be that too.
Well, you got to think about it. When I met her, I was living with my brother. All I owned was a car and a bag of clothes. So
he definitely had something going for him.
Wasn't money. Still not money.
So he's basically saying he has a giant hog, Swan.
Noted.
I'm obnoxiously average. I'm not even gonna lie. It's okay.
So your average is what, 7 inches? That's not average.
Just under.
Jesus. Okay. Anyway,
he's like, just under could be, I mean, in guy measurements, it could be many things.
No, in guy measurements, that means just under. That means like 6 3/4, 6.5.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I count every single
that's what I'm
centimeter.
saying. So yeah, you can't. Yeah. Just under means
if I was
just
7,
under.
I would be shouting that from the rooftops.
Just under 7 means just under 7, Swan. It doesn't mean 5 inches.
And if it was smaller, I wouldn't be saying anything about it, because that's how you give it away that it's too small. So
see, word.
Yeah,
word.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. Now I'm thinking about
penises.
Now I'm thinking about my depressingly small penis. Hold on. And that's why you're not successful, Steven. Your penis is too large. That's my theory.
I know.
We had that discussion.
I don't know.
A
I
couple
feel like
times
that kind of tracks. Funny, fat and ugly, decent hog. If I was buff, boring, and could walk, I'd have a thunder thimble. So
yeah, yeah. Some of us have to watch our weight, or else our penis will look smaller.
I mean, that's pretty true for everybody, though.
That's definitely an issue. 100%. Definitely an issue. Yeah.
Well, with the new weight loss medications out, obviously,
and that's the thing.
You immediately would qualify.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I don't. I qualify.
Well, your insurance says you don't. but you
Yeah.
do qualify for it. You only have to have a body mass index greater than 30 or have a body mass index greater than 27 with a comorbidity like hypertension.
Okay,
Yeah,
I have a
my-
question, but do you
Mhm.
do this? So for Beefman, can't his comorbidity be his wheelchair status?
He doesn't even need one because his body mass index is greater than 30.
Right, but I mean, can't he have it resubmitted to his insurance for payment related to his?
Insurance is going to do what insurance does. When you look at the formulary for the medication, it's going to say what they'll cover it for. If his insurance covers no weight loss medication whatsoever, doesn't matter what the doctors submit.
Well, it's Medicaid, and Medicaid came back with a no from my primary doctor because I'm not pre-diabetic or anything like that. When they fought that, they said, no, it needs to be prescribed from a specialist. So I'm going to the weight loss clinic. My goal is to try to do it as natural as I can.
It's a dumb idea.
But if they can get it approved, I'm going to get it.
It's a dumb idea. Just do it.
I'd rather just get the meds and be done, but
Well, you
yeah,
you still can't eat around it. I mean, you still have to, you have to meet your protein. This is what I do. Members of the Great Slaptail Nation, you're never going to learn anything listening to me. But yeah, obviously I do this sort of thing.
And
for a
they
living.
only are going to take from this what they take from this because most people don't want to hear the advice that is you need to eat healthy.
Yeah.
So if you don't follow the diet anyway, whatever you tell them isn't going to work.
That's true.
well, and that's part of why I'm going to the weight loss clinic. Because even before when I called, I didn't even ask about the meds right away. I was like, I want to get into the weight loss clinic, because not only do I want to lose weight, but I'd like to re-bulk up a little bit. Because like in high school, I wasn't fat. Like I had none. My PE was working out with the football team. Because I couldn't do like regular PE, so that I would just go lift weights. So like in high school, I was 180, but I was just solid muscle.
Yeah, you could
And
get
that's what I'd
back
like to
there
be again.
I mean, because if you could get back there now, here's the question: so, do you do like home PT now, where you straighten your legs so they don't get contractures, all that other fun stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I do basic stretches and stuff like that. Yeah, just the basic stuff.
Now, is your eventual goal to get back on the crutches?
Well, I would like to. That's not going to happen because of my hip, but I would just like it. I just want it to be easier for me getting around. That's the thing. Like I can still throw myself around. I don't have an issue doing that. Like getting out of my car, all that. I can do that. I just want it to be easier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to be able to take my shirt off in the summer. That'd be nice too.
I've never taken my shirt off in the summer. Well, I do, but I'm not. I've never been comfortable taking my shirt off.
Yeah, I do it, but like I like get in the pool, then take my shirt off. There's no taking it off out of the pool. Like none of that. No. Nobody wants that.
Somebody wants it.
Well, I mean, a person wants it, but something clearly wrong over there. I don't know.
Now, have you thought about doing an OnlyFans for the people who have specific fetishes out there to raise money?
It's weird you bring that up. My wife has suggested it. Here's the thing. I don't see anything wrong with doing that kind of work or anything like that. I get weirded out by the guys that participate in it, if that makes sense. It's the guys watching that freak me out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta open up your mind, man. You gotta open your mind, expand your horizons. You're not banging them. Jeez, what's wrong with you?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. I don't know. I don't know. It
you could
creeps me
make
out.
someone else's fetish a thing and make bunches of money off of it.
I think what you should do, you could get you could get a fake lower half made that's like a lower half of a seal or a walrus or a tuna, and just flop that and flip that around, and like muddy water, cream corn, cream of mushroom soup, something like that. People will be digging it.
Oh yeah,
you'll get your money for your van right away. I'm telling you.
I know, man. I know that might be the way to go. I don't know.
Plus, even and let's say for some reason, I'm going to let you in a little secret here. Let's say for some reason you can't get the medications from the weight loss clinic for some reason, because nobody wants to cover Medicaid. you could make enough from your kinky little videos to pay for the med compounded every month. Or you could get a 3-month supply at a time. And then you're like, well, fuck you then if you're not going to cover it. I'm going to go pay cash for it.
Yeah. Well, I guess that is an idea.
Telling you. Flipper time with Steven the Sitcom Ortiz. Then you could have special guest stars.
Really?
You could have special guest stars come in. You know, put some straws on either side of your mouth. Pretend to be a walrus. Just hook them up in there. Flop around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know
Yeah, man.
personally I would join just if you would do the following. If you would go into a Menards and just transfer yourself onto a toilet in the middle of the Menards and take a dump, I personally would pay to see that.
Yeah, there's no running from that either.
Like, what? I couldn't, like, and I feel like you would be forgiven. They're like, you're like, I couldn't make it in time. This was here. What can I do?
I've played the crippled card to get out of trouble in the past. I'm confident it would work. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got away with a lot of shit.
Now, we've been hitting around some ideas between me and our co-host, one of our co-hosts, Mike Nemo. We call him Nemo. Mike Ateo, comedian from New Jersey. Listeners know him. And I really want to pitch these shows. I pitched one to Steven. I was like, which one would you prefer? Crip Fight Club or Crip Survivor? And he was going with Crip Fight Club.
I mean, Crip Fight Club seems like easier. Like it's a one, you just do a fight and you're done. I mean, Crip Survivor, like you're in there for a while.
No, what if I drop them in downtown Detroit?
Oh, so you just have to survive a night, basically?
Yeah, you just gotta
24 hours.
You just gotta make it 24 hours in the middle of downtown Detroit.
I don't know. I feel like I get a better reception from that community than I would being dropped like where I'm at now.
What community do you mean?
Detroit.
The black community.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure what you meant.
Yeah. No, yeah, dude. I fucking, oh man. Dude, all black shows. I love them. Can't get enough of them. Black women love me. Don't know why, but they do. I can't get enough of it. Well, you saw at the open mic. The chick jumped on my lap.
Yeah.
Yep.
That wasn't pre-planned.
Nope,
That wasn't pre-planned at all.
Nope. And she probably tried to toss you off too. I know it. I know how it goes. Probably slipped that hand down. She's like, "Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry again."
Well,
sorry.
the initial sit down was not aiming for a knee, but that's neither here nor there.
That's all right.
Yeah, it happens. My wife thinks it's hilarious. I get sat on a lot, guys, a lot.
Oh, good to know.
Especially at bars. At bars, women, and my wife will attest to this. She thinks it's hilarious. I immediately freeze, but she just thinks it's hilarious when women will just sit on me.
I wish that would happen to me.
Yeah, they just come up and sit on me, arms around the neck, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. My wife's like, grab her ass, she's gonna fall. I'm like, this is a trap. I ain't falling for that.
I'm gonna go to a restaurant now with a wheelchair.
Okay.
It's gotta be a bar.
Is that okay?
A bar.
Gotta be a bar. And what would we call that?
It could be whatever bit you want it to be.
Disability appropriation.
Call it sit and spin.
Now people are gonna know I'm gonna do it. It's not gonna work. I'll probably blow it. I'll blow it anyway.
You'll be like moving your legs.
Yeah, like Professor Throbinson will stir.
I've always wanted to film some bits. Like there's one bit idea I had, which was going around the clipboard asking people to sign a petition to make crack houses handicap accessible. There was another one where I really wanted somebody to run up, push me out of my chair, just sit in my chair, and then just wheel away.
Oh, I would totally do
I always thought that'd be funny.
Beaveman signed up for that one.
We totally do that.
Yeah, like there's like, because like I said, people get so uncomfortable when it comes to somebody in a wheelchair that there's so much crap to prey on. It's fantastic. So much fun.
It would be fun to do if we could do this would be a fun idea, is if we could strap him in to his wheelchair, put a helmet on him, and go up the ramp like at the theater, but then stop and have you lean forward, because I could totally cut all that and then throw a mannequin on the ground.
That'd be awesome.
Show the mannequin flying through the air, and then we'll put Steven on the ground.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah.
And then I'll just like sit in his chair. We're like, oh, I'm just tired. Ooh, so tired from pushing you up there.
Do you know what videos, like, you know, all the videos where people like fall or do dumb shit that are on, and you watch them and you're like, ooh, The ones that like are badass to me, but still make me go, are the dudes in wheelchairs or ladies too, but it doesn't matter, who wear helmets, but they are doing like skateboarding ramps, like doing like the freaking half pipe and like extreme. I'm like, holy shit. Like, dude, that's frightening. It would be frightening. I'm not going to do it standing on no. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yikes.
Right here is a scar. I tried a half pipe 3 times.
He's showing us his penis. This is an audio medium. He just pointed to his penis, you guys, and it was not.
And got it caught in the wheel. But no. So I was
7 inches.
It was 4
after
before.
that. But I was at the so I was at the top of the half pipe, right? And not doing enough research into it, I didn't realize it was 4 feet of vert before it curves out, right? So I get up there and I just go right off the edge. And I just boop, right on the ground, face first, blew my chin out. You could see my jawbone. It was horrible. I went back 2 months later after it healed with a BMX helmet, tried it again, busted my face open again. 3rd time, I got it. I went down, went up the one side, went down, went up the other side, flipped backwards. And I was like, I'm done. That's as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, never again.
That's good. You only had to try it 3 times to learn your lesson.
3rd time's a charm, or 3 strikes, you're out. That's it.
All right.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yikes, exactly. In case you guys thought we were lying, he truly is. He's truly in the hospital. And this is how shallow we are. We're like, oh, he was supposed to podcast with us today, and then ended up in the hospital. And I'm like, oh, you don't want to podcast, do you? And he's like, oh, no, I'll still podcast. And so
it's a distraction.
I took him up on it. Yeah, that's why I said to him, like, oh, it's a good distraction anyway.
Yeah.
It's a good distraction. So yeah.
Anyways.
Laughter is the best medicine.
That's not true. Medicine is actually the best.
Oh, if you have chlamydia, you can laugh about it and you'll feel better.
Yeah, but it won't go away.
No, it won't.
Simply will not go away.
I still giggle every time I think about the chlamydia sign going up into Michigan.
Yeah.
It's still
Followed
I still
immediately.
remember seeing it. I had to double take. I was like, did that fucking say chlamydia? What?
Followed immediately by 15 signs for 15 different dispensaries.
Oh, dude, man, I don't know how more people don't get arrested. They put all those signs up all the way to the Michigan border, and you just know people are bringing it back.
Of course.
I mean, it used to be the same way with fireworks for us. We would people would go down to Indiana to get fireworks and then come back to Michigan with them before
I guess
they were
that's
illegal.
True, yeah.
Yeah, but smoking fireworks isn't as much fun.
No, it's probably not. It's probably not a good idea. Not a good idea.
I wouldn't do that.
Also, eating fireworks doesn't work well.
No,
not a good edible.
Probably wouldn't do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this with us. We try not to keep it too long. Oh, you should probably shout out some of your stuff. I forgot to mention that Steven is on a morning show every day.
Oh yeah.
For like 3 hours?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5, 3 hours. I've listened to it a couple times. Pretty good.
It's pretty hit or miss. We have a big, so it's Coffee with the Dog. We're on every morning. From 9 to 11:30 generally is the time frame. Monday through Friday, we have a wide variety of guests from comedians, musicians, authors. We get the occasional like psychic or medium that comes through and tries to convince us of something that never works. And but normally it's a lot of fun. There is some political talks. If you don't like that, don't show up. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either if I didn't have to, but no, overall it's a good time, guys. And that's actually part of the show that's coming in January in New York. Again, that's at Gov's Comedy Club, Fresh Brewed Comedy Show. And then on social media at The Sitcom, which if you're watching, right there on the bottom.
Yay.
Nice job, Steven. That's how it's done, Mike.
Yeah.
That's how it's done. That's how you promote yourself.
And he shouted himself out.
No offense, Mike.
Oh, poor Nemo.
But that's how it's done, Nemo. That's how you promote yourself. That is how it's done. Swan, I'm gonna say goodbye, and then you can promote away, because by the time this show comes out, we will have already had our Jay Hunter show.
Yes.
So I will say, and I'm sure I did awesome. I'm sure I made lots of people uncomfortable. I'm sure very few people laughed. I'm sure I did my new joke that I'm pretty proud of that I have yet to use. And I will use my other joke that I'm very proud of that I've already used, and people were uncomfortable. So there you go. I'll have you know, though, that Steven liked it. So there you go.
I did.
He did. All right, then. Adios, mooch fuckos.
And from the Swan, we have our Slap Your Tail Comedy open mic every third Thursday at the Dormouse Theater in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The next one is Thursday, December 19th. I think it's pretty full, but you might know.
Like 4 spots.
Oh, I thought we were full. But okay, we have some slots available. So reach out if you want that. January has one also. We have a show coming up in January that I don't know the date of because I'm not prepared and it's not on my calendar and I don't know who's on it except for I do know that we have it all booked and it's going to be ready. So if Beaveman actually gave me those names of those people, I don't have them.
Passive aggressive.
So I'm just saying, if you prepared me to be prepared, our listening audience would know about our show in January at the Dormouse Theater.
Really big share.
I think it's going to be dope. It's January 25th. Is that correct? I don't know.
I'm going to say you're probably right.
I think I'm probably right. Do you know who's on it?
Of course.
Okay, can you tell the audience?
Well, that's not really my job.
You haven't given me the information.
Really not. It's really
but
not
I guess
my
then
job.
the listening audience won't know until you give it to me to give to them next.
Fine.
time.
We've got Jen Alyssa from Chicago. We've got Mary Elizabeth Krieger from Ohio. And then we've got Adam Minnick, also from Ohio, who
Thank
is
you.
headlining. And that date is,
January.
Is,
It's in January.
24th.
4th.
January
it's a Friday.
24th.
It's
There
a
you go.
Friday. Sorry, not Saturday. Friday the 24th at the Dormouse Theater in Kalamazoo.
So again, Jen Flaxman, Mary Elizabeth Krieger, and Adam Minnick.
Excellent. Thank you.
And of course, there will be promos, and I will be making foolish videos to try to get lots of people to come.
Okay. So therefore, bye from the Swan.
It's
Steven, you got the last word.
It's an audio medium.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Tons of fun. Glad to have made some new friends, and thank you all for listening while I'm hanging out. Appreciate you guys.